Welcome to WP Coffee Talk. Thank you to our sponsor, Helix Managed WordPress Hosting, for both their sponsorship and hosting our site, WPCoffeeTalk.com. Now on to our episode. Hello again, and welcome to another episode of WP Coffee Talk. It's my honor today to introduce you to William Jackson. Now, I was just talking to William before we started that I have a distinct recollection of meeting you at WordCamp US in 2016.
Yeah.
I was kind of hanging down by the entrance, just kind of saying hello to people and whatever. And you walked in and we started up a conversation. And
Right.
so I've seen you around. We're both organizers on WordCamp US this year. And when I saw you pop up on the Slack channel, I was like, I think I know this guy.
Right. Yes, ma'am.
So when you applied to speak or applied to be part of the podcast, I was so excited that I get another opportunity to talk to you.
Well, great. Thank you. Because when I started come up on Twitter, I said, hey, this looks like a great opportunity to share some information and do a little bit more networking and get to know more people in the WordPress community.
Absolutely. And now I'm going to introduce you to more people in the WordPress community by putting you right on the podcast. So William, go ahead and tell us a little bit about what you do.
Well, I am a elementary school physical education and technology teacher, and I'm celebrating 32 years in public education. Yay! Thank you. And I still love it. It's a wonderful profession. And not only that, but I also teach about STEAM, which if some people aren't sure, is science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. And it's just the integration of those STEAM elements with hands-on projects, giving the kids opportunity to learn about the different educational initiatives that go along with STEAM, to be a well-rounded learner and to show them that science and tech can be fun. It can work together. Engineering is fun. The arts are important in education, and they really do need to learn math, but math can be fun as well.
Exactly. And is that where WordPress comes in through that whole STEAM education?
Well, WordPress is an interesting combination because all the technical information that you learn can really be, I guess, simplified to encourage kids to be involved in the WordPress community. And it has grown so much in the last couple of years. Aida, my girlfriend, and I, we have taught a couple of kids camps. We taught in the kids camp in 2018 in Orlando. We're handling the kids camp this year at WordCamp Jacksonville, June 29th of this year. And we're going to help with the kids camp in Costa Rica in September. Yes, it's a lot of fun. We helped last year as well, and it's a wonderful chance to show kids how WordPress can help them and what they can learn at the WordCamps and all the professionals and entrepreneurs and solopreneurs that attend WordCamp conferences.
That's amazing. I love how the WordPress community brings people together. Like, if you and I weren't working on these things together, our paths might never cross, but now they have. Now I have a friend in Florida, so there you go.
Yes.
And I'm in New York, so if you ever need to come to Rochester, New York, you can have my couch.
Oh, wonderful. Sounds good. Thank you for the invitation.
Anytime. So I always ask everybody on the show, show me your mug. So what are you drinking out of today?
This is a special mug because this was given to me from one of the fifth graders at my elementary school. She was graduating this year, and she wanted to give me something special. And she saw where I worked outside, teaching PE. I'm outside all day getting hot and sweaty. And she gave me something very special, not only to remind me of her, but it keeps drinks really, really cold for a long time. So that definitely helps out. And I have a surface where I can put all my WordPress stickers on my mug. Yes.
Fantastic. Yeah, I've got mine all over my laptop, which you can't see, of course, because I'm using my laptop right now. I'm using today my WordPress canteen thermos.
All right.
And sometimes I drink hot things out of this because it keeps them hot for like 15 hours or more. It's really good. Right. But it's 80 degrees in my office right now, so I'm drinking ice water.
There you go. There you go.
I'm drinking ice water tonight. Plus, it's also 8 o'clock at night, and if I was drinking coffee right now, well, I don't need that much. So, how did you get started with WordPress? Tell us your WordPress origin story.
Well, it started about 2011 a couple of friends of mine here in Jacksonville, they wanted to start going to conferences because they were interested in blogging. And let's see, her name was Tiffany Duhart, and she did a lot of social media stuff. And she was like, William, have you ever been to a WordCamp conference that I had never heard of? I said, no, I never heard of it. And another gentleman, Lee Brown, he was a food blogger. They were like, well, let's go hang out at the WordCamp Orlando, which was the first conference. Went down there, automatically fell in love with it. The people were just so fun, engaging, and easy to talk to. And I learned about this wonderful platform called WordPress, because at the time I was writing blogs on Blogger, and Blogger was so easy to use, and I enjoyed blogging. I had been blogging for a couple of years, but when I found WordPress, I just instantly fell in love with it, because all the opportunities, not just to share content with the WordPress open source community, but all the widgets and the fun stuff that you can do, and how easy it was to share your content with others.
I
So
hear
after
that.
that,
I hear that phrase a lot. I fell in love with it. That's what I say. I fell in love with WordPress.
yes, yes, and it's like the rest is history. So I've been blogging ever since, and posting content and videos, and just using it not just as a resource to promote the blogs that I write, but also to show others how fun it is to attend WordCamp conferences. So I'll post pictures and video, and just let people know that, hey, you really need to come. It's like you don't have to be a technical expert or a programmer or a developer, which is good. But it's like, if you just have basic knowledge, come on out and hang out with us.
Yeah, I love when you get a newbie, somebody who hasn't necessarily even logged into WordPress yet, at a WordPress
Right.
WordCamp, and they're they're like a kid at a candy store by the end of the day. They're so excited.
Exactly. Oh, that is so true. Yes, it is.
That potential.
Yeah, and it's like their eyes light up. And just this past weekend, Aida and I went to WordCamp Asheville. We were talking about, and there were quite a few newbies that were there, and you could just see the excitement in their eyes, and running back and forth to workshop. And not only that, they love the idea of all the swag by the vendors and the sponsors. So that helps too. And of course, I would have to say the food in most cases is very good. It's awesome. And you get fed.
You do, and it's only $20 a day usually, $25 a day.
Right.
And you get breakfast, lunch, you get an after party, you get all kinds of
That's
knowledge, you get a bag full of swag. I mean, what's not to love?
right. Exactly. That's so true. And great memories, because it's like you create so many friends, but then those friends turn into like an extended family too. So that's wonderful.
Yeah, I often refer to it as my WordPress family.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's great. It is.
it really is. It's fantastic. So what's something you think when you look at WordPress sites that people might skip over or don't pay enough attention to that you wish that they would add or focus more on?
I think just and excuse this term, the the artistic beauty of it. My girlfriend being an artist shows how colors and the blending of designs can really bring out a website. And I think something as far as like how your colors match with the theme you're writing about, or the design of your business, and more bright and focused colors. Now that the themes are wonderful and awesome, but I think since people are more visual now, I think just the blending of more vibrant colors to really show the creative aspect and the artistic aspect of what WordPress can do. Because there are a lot of people that are very artistic that love the platform, and I think that's one of the things that can really enhance the presence and the growth of the platform.
You know, I agree with you 100%. I think there's a lot of people that are really technically good with WordPress, but they don't focus enough on how beautiful it can be too.
Right. Yes. Exactly.
Oh, that's wonderful. I love that. And you're the first person to say that too. So it's nice to hear.
Great.
Everybody has something different, you know, that they focus on. For some people, it's SEO. For other people, it might be, you know, that there's a path and a design through it and everything. So
Right.
I love that. That's fantastic. Everybody has something different to bring to the table, and
That's,
that's part
that's,
of the thing that makes these coffee
yeah,
talks.
that's what makes our community so unique. Is like everybody can contribute and people actually take the time to listen. They're like, oh yeah, that does sound pretty good, or and it's something you can really apply. So it's nothing like astrophysics or something like that. So.
Exactly. Exactly. What's something that you wish that you had known when you started using WordPress that you know now that might have made your life a little easier?
I think one of the things is how easy it is to understand SEO, search engine optimization, and really looking at how you make your content more accessible to those who may have who may be visually impaired or auditorily impaired. And sometimes we forget about that, but there are thousands of people that have visual and hearing impairment that still surf the web, do research, and they're using tools to download information or actually hear it or see it better or be able to understand. I think as content creators, we sometimes lose that and forget that. But the tools that are built into WordPress really help you understand that these are important, and they do help your SEO. They do help your levels in Google. So that's one of the things I think that's really important to understand and remember. Hey, you do have these tools or these widgets built in that help other people, look at your content and enjoy it.
And isn't it wonderful that Google recognizes that accessibility is so important that it affects your rankings?
Exactly. Yeah, and that's a wonderful thing because there are a lot of people out there that have businesses and they're trying to get their brand out there. They're trying to get their products or services, but they're coming up with different challenges. But as you were saying, there's a lot of help that is provided. And as content creators, we still have to be mindful that our content is influential, impactful, but we also have to make it inclusive, more
Yes.
inclusive. I believe.
Yeah, no, those are great notes. Absolutely. And that is something I think that most of us wish that we'd taken into account earlier on in our careers with WordPress,
Right.
using WordPress. So no, that's wonderful. You've been to a lot of WordCamps, correct?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And you're involved in your local meetup too?
Oh yes, I am. Yes.
So
It's
when you
it's
think, go ahead.
mm-hmm. It's when you see it pop up that there's a WordPress meeting coming soon, you get really excited because each meetup, you have somebody different speaking on a different subject, and it's kind of like it sparks your interest. Like, what is this person going to talk about? Have I seen this person at a WordCamp? Where do I know this person from? And then you want to invite other people as well. So it's kind of like, okay, we're all going to get together because we have the same passion about tech or web development or graphic design, and they're really cool meetups. And they have food there too. So it's like, hey, it's a win-win situation.
Don't tell the people in Rochester we don't provide food up here.
Okay.
I mean, at WordCamp, yes, but not at the meetups.
Okay.
So when you think back over all the different WordCamps you've attended, and whether you were the speaker or the audience member, what are one or two like mountaintop type moments? Those ones where like the light turned on, or you just were just was truly blessed in the moment that just kind of really stands out for you.
I think being engaged with people when you're walking down the hall and you stop and you actually talk to someone and you find out what their name is first, where they're from, how many times they've been to a word camp. And that's always exciting because myself originally being from Philadelphia and living in Florida since 87. So I've been down here for a while, but just traveling and meeting different people, not just locally, but nationally and internationally is always fun because you share so much knowledge that, oh, we do have a lot of similar interests. We can share information together, but we can still continue to communicate, whether we're using Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever the platform is, and not just talk about tech, but, talk about our kids and what's going on in our lives. So that makes a richer community and like I said before, an extended family. And the light bulb moment comes on where it's like if you're struggling with an issue, a technical issue or something, and then you come to think, oh, I can contact such and such because I met them at a work camp and ask them what they think about, or I could go on Slack and ask everybody on Slack, and they'll let me know within a matter of minutes or half an hour or whatever. So those are great moments because they allow you to not stress out so much over little or big things because you have so much support.
Absolutely. The community is an amazing, amazing
Yes,
living,
it is.
breathing organism. And honestly, I have found so much more positivity than you could ever
Right.
imagine from a community the size of ours.
Yeah.
You expect some negativity sometimes from different communities. I don't really see much of it here in
Oh,
WordPress.
I
It's
don't either.
helping each other. Yeah. So what are
Yeah.
some, I know you've spoken at WordCamps too. What are some of the talks that you've given?
Well, mine, and I like to say mine isn't on a particular platform, but I love to talk about the importance of your brand. Your brand, whether it's a business brand or personal brand, is very important because they define who you are and how you engage and interact in the community. Also, that there is value in SEO, but SEO can be clinical. So one of the great things to promote your brand and your business is get out and volunteer in the community. Let people know who you are, what you're doing, who you engage with. I've been blessed to be selected as a Ford VIP blogger also from attending. There's a technology camp called Florida BlogCon at Full Sail University, and it's every September. And I applied to be a Ford blogger, and I really didn't think I was going to be chosen, but because of my engagement in the WordPress and WordCamp community, they selected me. I'm like, oh, okay, I can go to 40 sponsored community events and blog about that and use the skills and techniques that I learned at WordCamp conferences to be a Ford blogger. So Aida and I have been doing that for about a year now. And we just like to say that because of the things we've been blessed with from WordCamp, we're able to do other things in the community and share it with kids.
That's wonderful. Now, I saw you on Facebook this weekend at
Yeah.
WordCamp Nashville. And was Aida speaking at that
Yes,
WordCamp?
it was. Actually, it was a wonderful opportunity for her to be one of the first speakers because her presentation is now that you're at a WordCamp, now what? What do you do? And it gives people an idea of, okay, since I'm here, I get a chance to network. I get a chance to meet new people. It's good to take pictures and post it on social media. So kind of like a good foundation for them to take advantage of all the wonderful things at WordCamp. And she really emphasizes don't be scared to walk up to people and speak to them because that's what they're there for too. It's like even if you're a little shy, take the time out to introduce yourself to somebody because you never know, that could be a lifelong friend. So
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, like we met how many years ago? 5 years ago?
exactly 5 years ago, exactly.
And here we are working on the WordCamp US team together.
Yeah,
Not only are we both on the team, we're on the same committee.
same committee exactly. So that's wonderful.
Yeah, we're on the PR comms committee, so we're the ones trying to get that word out, huh?
Get that word out. Oh yeah. And I've always been kind of what's the word? I've had a little bit of imposter syndrome because when you think about the size of WordCamp US, you're thinking, well, sometimes I thought to myself, wow, am I really that good to be with such wonderful people with all this knowledge and this skill? But once you're on Slack for a little bit, it's like, oh yeah, you're joking about this or joking about that, or you have a real serious question and somebody answers it, and it's like, oh, that was pretty cool. So it builds up your confidence, and you do have some fun on it with it, so it does help.
Have you heard of um the Pac-Man, like the group Pac-Man thing, where like if you're at WordCamp, especially like WordCamp US, where people who have been
Um,
friends forever, like they make a circle and they all are talking to each other to leave
oh
a way
yeah,
open, right? So that other people can join and you're not excluding everybody.
yeah.
Slack feels like that to me too. Like people could be having conversations and it's still okay for you to chime in.
Right. Yeah. And we had that situation too because when Aida and I attended, like this past weekend, we had Mickey Trevette, we had Aisha from okay, Aisha Adams, David Zimmerman, and there's a few others, and we get together and it's like a family reunion. But like you said, we open up our little circle to embrace other people to come in and like, hey, come on in and be a part of the family. And the other person was Steve Schultz. He couldn't come because his daughter was graduating, but we took pictures and sent him pictures, what was going on that we missed him. And usually after the after party, we get together and go out and sit down and talk and share family stories. But it's cool because you invite other people and it's like, oh yeah, come on and join in and you know, let's talk and get together and hang out and have some fun.
There's always room for more.
Yes, it is. Yes.
I was at a word camp when somebody talked about that whole Pac-Man idea that you have that, that pie wedge that's always open. And then if people come and join, you just open it up again and make room
Open
for
it
more
up
people.
again.
And to me, that was one of those aha moments like, oh my gosh, why have I never thought of that before?
Right.
To be
Okay.
to just be open and welcoming because anybody really can fit in almost any environment. And WordPress, there are
Right.
times I'm sitting in a development talk or, listening to my developer friends talking and it's like, shoo, 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 all over it's way
Right.
over my, because I'm not a developer. I mean, I can hold my own with CSS and HTML. But, as soon as we get into PHP and JavaScript, I'm just like, yeah, it's
Right.
like
Yeah,
speaking a foreign language I didn't learn.
yeah, me too. I'm like that too.
But they always at least try to like look at me and pretend that I know what they're talking about so that
Okay.
even if I don't get it. So I'm always hoping I'll just pick up something when I'm in those.
Oh,
And then I'm usually the one going, so what's everybody want for lunch?
right. And then you have to decide where you're gonna go eat. Okay, who wants this or who wants that? And oh yeah, they have the best this. And it's like then you have to, okay, let's follow such and such and let's all go meet there, or let's all walk there. And yeah.
Good. Now you brought up swag earlier. So tell me one or two pieces of swag that you've picked up at camps that you adored, that you just loved.
Oh, last year, where was I? I believe, and I hope I don't get this wrong. Last year at Word Camp Birmingham, they had hoodies, and it was perfect timing, and they were just so comfortable, and they fit real well. I loved that. Also at Word Camp Miami, they had metal mugs as well. They weren't as large as the one that you have, but they wonderful. You know, that swag was great. And it was another one, I believe it was Philadelphia last year that gave out laser pointers. Those were
Oh,
really cool.
very nice. Yeah, I was at WordCamp Kent last year, and the speakers got laser pointers. And the advancers, like the little advancers for your laptop presentations,
Yeah.
that was good
Oh
speaker
yeah.
swag.
Yeah. And it's always fun. And I've kind of, in a good way, dug a hole for myself because my students at my school, and this is another subject for another time, but they follow me on Instagram and YouTube and Twitter. And I'm thinking first, okay, you're in third, fourth, and fifth grade. What are you doing on social media in the first place? But but they are. And
Yeah.
now since they've been following me for a while, they're like, okay, coach, what are you bringing back for swag? Where's our stickers? And they know what wapus are, and it's like we want some wapus. But I have to give it to a lot of the sponsors and the vendors. They do provide that they do provide that every once in a while, and the kids they're just so excited because they're now like, okay, when I get old enough, I want to go to a word camp and I want to be involved in the word camp community. So it's such a blessing that where I'm going, what I'm doing, and what Aida's doing, and where she's going. Younger people are like really excited and can't wait to participate also. And it's just like, okay, y'all can come into the family too, because y'all the next generation that's going to be organizers and speakers and volunteers.
I've been involved in organizations before where you worry about the future of the organization because
Right.
enough young people aren't getting involved. I am not worried about WordPress at all.
Oh no, no. There are a lot of young people coming up, and David Passett, his daughters are very, very involved. Actually, I believe the oldest daughter, Olivia, she's spoken at a couple of word camps, and she's heavily involved in the kids camp as well, which are really good.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Sandy Edwards is doing a wonderful job with the kids camp, expanding it not just nationally but internationally, and just getting more people involved, getting more kids from 7 all the way up to 18, I believe, at different levels. She's doing a fantastic job, and that helps WordPress and WordCamp to grow as well.
Absolutely. Now, you and I, as we said, are both on the organizing team for WordCamp US. Will you be there this year?
Oh, definitely. Oh, I wouldn't miss it for the world. We're already planning on how to get up there and everything. So, and actually, we'll probably bring um, a couple of young people with us. Aida has 4 daughters. I have 2 kids, so we're trying to figure out
You need a
how we're
bus.
gonna, yes, how we're gonna get a van or whatever and bring them up there and get our tribe together and hang out. And so we're planning, but we will definitely be there for that week.
That's good. And we want as many people as possible, of course, to sign up to be there.
Oh,
So,
definitely.
yeah, it's going to be good. We've got some great things already in the works that people may or may not know about, and some things that we can't share yet.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Yes,
But we renamed the after party this year. So it's not the after party because it's not after, right?
that
It's
answer. Right.
during.
And
And
see,
so
yep,
it's,
that's some great minds working together. So coming up, because somebody brought up the idea, and I was like, oh yeah, we can kind of do something. We have that flexibility to do that.
yeah, so we're calling it WordFest.
Yes, the word there. So we're gonna have a great time.
I agree. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to seeing you there for sure.
Looking forward to seeing you soon. Yeah, we got everybody get together and talk and share and take selfies and some video and just have a good time.
What's your advice for people who are attending a WordCamp, especially WordCamp US for the first time? Like, what is some of the things that you might want to give them as far as keep in mind?
One of the important things is to plan as far in advance as possible. Get your hotel or where you're gonna, if it's an Airbnb or hotel, get that secured early. Learn about the area where there are different restaurants that you're comfortable eating, because you know with dietary things, people are either vegan or vegetarian or pescatarian. Kind of find out in the area what restaurant you actually feel comfortable eating at. Um, Definitely make a plan, make a list of things you want to bring with you as far as clothes because of the weather and the type of technology you're taking with you. So that
Mm-hmm.
way, being as organized ahead of time as possible really helps out, because you don't want to put yourself in a position where you're rushed and you're forgetting something, or you actually accidentally have something in your bag and you're flying and it gets taken away or you can't take it. And one important thing is reach out to people that you know and let them know that you're coming, so that way you can kind of look out for each other, because St. Louis is kind of far for a few people, so it's far for us being here in Jacksonville, Florida. So let other people know that you're coming, so that way you're watching out for each other, because you do have a buddy system. And hey, my flight leaves at this time. I'm going to arrive at this time, or I'm driving, and this is how long it's going to take. So like you were saying, it's like a family. So you let others know like when you're going to get there, so that way you look out for each other.
Yeah, and if you don't know anybody that's going to be there, use the hashtag on Twitter, because
Yeah,
you'll find lots of other people that are going, and you can maybe first of all, I know that they could tweet to you, they could tweet to me, and we're going to automatically go, I got your back.
exactly. Yeah, that is true. That is true.
And there are lots of other people. So if you're using that, hashtag WCUS for WordCamp US, then definitely people are going to be able to
Right.
connect with you even before you ever get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ready for my rapid fire questions?
Oh yes. Let's go.
Here we go. So, what are 2 to 4 must-have plugins that you tell people that you recommend?
Oh, let's see. WooCommerce. Oh gosh. And oh gosh, there's a graphics plugin. Oh, what is it? It actually allows your Twitter feed to be displayed on your web page.
Oh, okay. So So a plugin that would do that then?
Yeah.
Oh,
I can't remember. Yeah, but there's a plugin that allows your Twitter feed to be displayed on your web or your blog, because it's always cool to see the tweets come through and then the information that's being shared.
yeah, that's true.
You know,
Um,
WooCommerce is always awesome anyway. So
especially if you're selling something.
exactly. Yeah.
I think Jetpack might do some of those things with social, but I don't remember for sure if they have a Twitter connection or not in Jetpack.
I'm not sure. Okay.
It could. I'm not. Don't quote me. People out there listening to WP Coffee Talk, I don't want to get the emails that says I'm wrong.
Exactly. Exactly right. Because I know Pantheon is really good. They have a lot of products as well, but it's kind of like you're trying to be like careful because you don't want to make a mistake. But everybody has their own special plugin that does different things. I'm more or less the graphical and the what can you do to highlight your Twitter feed, that kind of stuff. So it's like just keeping that content going.
Fantastic. Yes, because content is king. You
Yes,
have
it
to
is.
have new content. Absolutely. When you got started with WordPress or any step along your journey, did you have a mentor that you worked with? Anybody that kind of took you under their wing and taught you a few things?
Not at first, I didn't because I was kind of learning on my own. But as I gradually started to learn, there was Liam. I believe Liam's last name is Dempsey because him and Tara are doing the hallway chat.
Yes.
And the funny thing about that, the same with yourself and me, Liam was there also. And I believe I walked past Liam and we kind of said hello or something to each other because he had a conversation with somebody on Twitter similar to like we had. And I was like, wait a minute, I think I walked past you and spoke to you. And he was like, well, weren't you walking with like two kids? And I was like, well, they weren't really kids, but they were kids. He was like, yeah, kind of, because you had a brown jacket on. So Liam was, and then I started following Liam on Twitter. So that was really funny. Like,
So
hey, I know you.
what I'm hearing is your personality is one that people notice.
Yes, it must be that.
That's awesome. Who is somebody in the WordPress community that you admire and why?
Steve Schultz. He is a very energetic, active, and involved, not just a business person, but he really embraces motivating other people to be involved as speakers and volunteers. And this past weekend at Asheville, during my presentation, I kind of imitated him a little bit because his passion comes out really strong, empowering other people to actually apply to be a speaker. And he does it so well that he really gets close to you and he emphasizes that there's nobody in the world with the knowledge that you or I have or that person has, and they really should apply because we would be doing the WordPress WordCamp community a disservice if we didn't apply. And it's very important to keep the community as diverse and as inclusive as possible because that helps it grow and become more stronger. And I keep those words ingrained because when I talk to other people, I encourage them too. It's like one day you want to volunteer and you want to take the chance to speak. So Steve with AVT Steve on Twitter, he's an awesome guy, and he's a great photographer too. So.
Good. Oh, that's fantastic. I'll have to follow him.
Yes.
What's something that you want to learn in WordPress that you haven't tackled yet?
Oh my gosh, that's real easy. Gutenberg. Right now, my mind cannot grasp the block concept, so I'm still using the classic editor. But I know eventually I'm going to have to really sit down and learn it because what I've tried to do is take Legos and create how I want my site to look built with Legos, and then transferring that visual to the actual Gutenberg block platform format. So
Okay.
I'm slowly working on it, and I know I have a lot of support. So every once in a while I'll get to a point like I can't figure this out, and I'll ask somebody something on Slack or just do a search or something.
Yeah. When I was setting up, I'm on the organizing team for WordCamp Buffalo. And when I was setting up their website, I forced to learn Gutenberg because the WordCamp sites, they do have the code editor, but I've
Right.
challenged myself not to use it. So.
Okay. Yeah. There's several sites that I blog too, and they a couple of them still use the classic editor, but the other ones have transitioned to Gutenberg. So it's like it's forcing me to actually. I'm like, okay, y'all, it's all right. I'll go ahead and.
I'll go kicking and screaming, but I'll go. That's awesome. What is one of the biggest WordPress mistakes you've ever made, and what did you learn from it?
Oh, I was I was working on a site, an old site I had, and I accidentally like highlighted everything, and I hit a button on my computer and it deleted everything. And in my mind, it was like I was looking for a button that said undo, and there's not an undo button. And I was like, oh my gosh, what did I do? How did I? But then I remembered, well, if you highlight it, you may be able to bring it back on another platform. So what I did was I opened up Notepad, and I was able to do a paste, and it pasted it in Notepad. And I had all the little icons and symbols and everything, but I was like, okay, well, if I can paste it in Notepad, maybe I can paste it back on WordPress, which actually I was able to do. But I panicked for a little while, and I was like, oh my God, what did I do? I'm going to call somebody or get on Slack. So that was like.
That's good. I love it. That's awesome.
It was interesting. That taught me a good lesson, though.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
I think one of the best lessons is that it can almost always be fixed.
Right. It can be. Yeah. And that's a good thing. It can be.
Mm-hmm. What's your proudest WordPress moment?
My proudest moment was when I created a couple of blogs about the value of WordPress and word camps and kids camps in Africa. And there's a growth in Nigeria and Kenya, South Africa, and a couple of other countries that actually are having word camp conferences and encouraging people to use WordPress. And I wrote a couple of blogs about it, and it was actually published a few times in Africa. So I was really proud about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I would be too. Good for you. That's fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
So this is not really a good question for you. I was going to say, if you weren't working in web, what other career might you want to attempt? But you already have. Web is your second career, your second path. You already are a teacher. So if you weren't a teacher and you weren't in web, what would you want to do?
Oh, I would love to be a WordCamp, Kids Camp global evangelist ambassador.
That's wonderful. I love it.
Yeah, I would love to travel the world and have like many workshops for kids of all ages and teach them about web development on WordPress and the value of building their brand and having businesses, and just the increased growth and beauty of the WordPress community. That would be awesome. I would love to do that.
That would be awesome. What's something on your bucket list?
I want to go skydiving.
Ooh, you're the second person to say that today that I've talked to.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I also want to ride the bullet train in Japan, and there's several countries I want to travel to, but I would love to go to their WordCamps. Like I want to go to WordCamp Europe. I would love to go to WordCamp Toronto and Ontario, WordCamp Denver, Minnesota, and Japan.
That sounds wonderful. Definitely. Yeah, I love that you can make a vacation out of a WordCamp all the time.
Right. Oh yeah.
In the beginning and the end, you're good.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would love to surprise Aida and have her take her to WordCamp Spain and WordCamp Italy. Those would be great surprises.
Those would be good surprises. I hope you're able to do it. That would be a lot of fun. And so the last question is, show us or tell us about one of your hidden talents. So something people in the WordPress community might not know.
Oh, let's see. I guess I could say I'm very good with working with little kids. I have the patience of Job, I would say, and just connecting with them and trying to talk to them on their level, to get them excited about their future, to get them to see that they can have more than one career, and that technology, there's a lot of good things about technology that you can do, and how the WordPress community embraces young people, because you see more and more kids attending word camps, and they're attentive. Because this past weekend there was like 5 or 6 of them at Asheville, along with Aida's daughter, her granddaughter, and her oldest daughter, and they were just sitting there listening and talking and engaging. So that's always exciting. I love that aspect of it.
That's awesome. I love that. Tell us how people can find you. So do you have a website and social media? Share those with us.
Okay. My social media, my Twitter is WM Jackson. My Instagram is William D. Jackson. My website is myquesttoteach.com. And I've been working with Create My Voice, where you can get on Alexa and say, Alexa, play My Quest to Teach, and it'll play it. So Chip Edwards is wonderful to work with. I hope that's not a bad shameless plug, but him and Pam are doing a wonderful job. And I didn't know such technology existed, but yes, my website is My Quest to Teach. Also, yeah, Twitter, WM Jackson, Instagram, William D. Jackson. That's cool.
Wonderful. That's awesome. So hopefully you'll get some more followers and have some more people to interact with.
Exactly. It can make our circle bigger and bigger.
That's right. That's right. Now, the other thing I did want to say to you is we are recording this on June 10th, and it's your birthday. So happy birthday.
Thank you very much. Yay.
Thanks for sharing your birthday with WP Coffee Talk, and hopefully dozens, if not hundreds, of listeners.
I'm looking forward to it. Come on, let's go.
That's right. I think you were my 16th interview in a week and a half. So we got lots of people. We got another 10 people already, 11 people signed up. So we got content for quite a while. So I'm just really enjoying introducing wonderful people to other people in the community. So,
right. Well, I appreciate all that you're doing too. And great to see you online, even if it's online. But I'm looking forward to seeing you at WordCamp US so we can catch up and hug and talk and everything. So it's going to be a great time.
It really is. So thanks so much for being here. Cheers.
Thank you.
And say goodbye to everybody. Bye.
Bye. And I'll see you on Slack.
Absolutely.